Hello, can everybody hear me? Good. So I'm David from LiftOff. For those of you who don't know LiftOff, we are a mobile acceleration platform. Sounds very exciting. We work with clients direct and we work with brands to generate engagement, usage of their apps, their websites, their services, and we do it all through mobile. So I'm here today to talk to you for a short period of time about mobile and the great privacy reset, which sounds, frankly, a lot scarier than it actually is. So, privacy. Now, by virtue of the fact there is a stage here and a morning dedicated to it, I think we can all agree that privacy is a hot topic at the moment. The usage of data, how that data is exploited, how it is leveraged, and as consumers, how we can look to kind of protect ourselves from that a little bit. But I think it's important to reference there is an adage that when it comes to digital media is we should all bear in mind. I think most people are aware, but if you are using a product or service online and it is useful and it is free, it is because you are the product or service that is being sold, not what it is you're engaging with, right? And I think that most people understand that to a degree. They understand there is a trade-off going on, that your attention is being commodified, and most people would be completely okay with that. If you wanted to catch up on last night's Love Island, find out who's been boning who in the villa, but in order to do so, the website's going to show you a banner ad based on the fact you're in London, it's going to show you a shop in London. Most people would be fine with that. That's a trade-off they're willing to pay. But if you have to watch a kind of 90-second unskippable pre-roll about hemorrhoid cream just to catch a glimpse of Davide's glistening body, most people would say that's probably not a trade-off worth making. I mean, I've seen David, I know that's probably quite a good trade-off. But the idea is that as advertisers, we need to tread that line between targeting and frankly fucking creepy, right? There's a line there that we need to be careful of and to be cognizant of. I think we've all experienced kind of being chased around the internet by retargeting ads, and it doesn't work. I mean, for most of us, it just feels like a kind of an ex-lover appearing in our local pub, being like, oh, you're here, I didn't expect to see you. Like, we know that it's not an accident, we know it's targeted, and we don't respond well to it on the whole. So there's a balance to be made, and I'm here to talk about that, specifically when it comes to mobile. So, we all love our phones, that's the first thing to point out, potentially not quite as much as this mental case who married his phone. Go figure, I don't know how that marriage was consummated, but we all love our devices. We're all kind of obsessed with our phones, we use them all the time. To demonstrate this, we are going to play a very quick game called, what I like to call, nomophobia, right? So, everybody stand up. This is good, we can see who's listening to other speeches, right? Everyone's listening, good. Everyone on your feet, right. Last person standing, or last people standing, win a prize, some lovely LiftOff swag, 20 quid Amazon voucher, we'll see how it goes. When you feel uncomfortable, sit back down. Right, first thing, everyone take your phone out. Everyone get your mobile phone out. Not your work phone, not Blackberries, personal mobile phones, and hand your phone to the person to your left, right? If there's no one to your left, you can give it around the back, or you can swap. Everyone give your phone to somebody else, right? So everyone's holding someone else's phone, right? Your lovely, precious phone now has their grubby fingers all over it. Let's just sit with that uncomfortableness for a moment, right? Everyone's still standing? So far, so good. Right. Oh, we've got one down. Everyone, unlock your phone, right? Let that other person hold your unlocked phone in their hand, right? Can everyone feel how awkward and unpleasant that sensation? It's like someone holding your child, right? Right, don't forget, sit down when you're uncomfortable. Everyone, go to that phone, go to the Photos app, start having a scroll. You degenerates, look at you. Filth. Right, now this one gets almost everybody. If you are comfortable letting the other person, go to your web browser, go to the URL bar, type in your letters POR, and shout out the name of the first website that autofills. Keep standing. Well, I have to say, you guys either are fantastic on incognito mode, or you are into some serious degeneracy that you can only use Tor and the dark web for. Everyone's still standing. Come and see me afterwards. I'll have some lovely LiftOff swag for you. You can sit yourselves back down. So we're all, to some level, obsessed with our devices, right? They are core to our central being. Those of you who are still unsure about this, you can chance to win some more prizes. What percentage of people do you think admit to use their phone whilst having a poo? Shout something out. Who's got an idea? 80? Close. It's actually 60% of respondents admitted to use their phone whilst having a poo, which means there are 40% of people who lie, or a lot more people know the ingredients of their shampoo than I give them credit for, right? Another one. What percentage of people wake up in the middle of the night and check their phone? Right, they've got up for a wee, they've got up for some other reason, and they're going to get on their phone and start checking something. Who wants to take a guess? What percentage of people? 70. A little bit lower. 46% of people. And I'll tell you, as someone who has 3 children, I guarantee you that 46% of people have kids, and this is the only time in their day they can go through TikTok without being pestered by an annoying person looking for food or sustenance of some description, right? We use our phones all the time for everything. We're constantly engaging with our devices, so much so, last one, who can guess how many times in a day we're checking our phone? Anyone with a guess? How many? 60? 344 times a day. That's every 4 minutes. That's 4.8 hours a day we are consuming content on our phones. And I'm sorry, TV, it's more than telly. People are now using their devices more. Sorry, TV are getting really aggy in the corner. People are using their devices more time than they spend watching TV. And all of this data, all of this usage, everywhere we go, we're dropping these little breadcrumbs, which leads for a lot of data, which means that's a lot of information that advertisers are using to exploit. A lot of data, a lot of pulling it all together means a lot of tracking, which means there's a need for greater control. In a recent survey, 62% of people said they want more customized experiences online, more personalized services, but 62% of people said they want more control of their data. So 61, 62, something doesn't marry there, right? There's a need for more data privacy and control, but there's also a need to target services to people, right? So we're going to have a little look at how that can play out on mobile. But before we get to that, I think it's important to just break out some of the key differences between mobile and desktop. So you're targeting someone for a desktop campaign. It's very, very simple. You buy an ad on a website. Somebody clicks on that, it takes them to a website. It's very nice and easy. However, on mobile, it's a little bit more diversified, right? Because you have mobile web, but you also have mobile apps. And if you're targeting someone on mobile web, you can send them to mobile web, right? You can be on website A, you see a banner, you go, oh, you click on the banner, takes you to website B. Or you can be in your app, and an ad pops up in your app, and you go, oh, and you click on that, and it takes you to another app. Very, very simple. However, you can also be on your app, see a banner, click on the banner, it takes you to mobile web. Or you can be on your mobile website, see a banner, click on that, and it takes you to app. So it gets a little bit more complicated. Now, I don't know how many more minutes left, less than I started, so I can't talk about it in too much detail. So I'm going to focus today just on 2 things. I'm focusing on app to web, and I'm going to look at app to app, right? So these are the 2 core areas, really, where mobile advertising excels at driving performance. So, cookies. Let's make sure we all know what a cookie is to start with. There's first-party data, there's third-party data. I'm assuming you all know what this is, but just to be clear, you are Bob's shoes. Someone goes on Bob's shoes, buys a pair of shoes. Bob wants to make sure when they come back, they know what size shoe they are, so puts a cookie on the browser that Bob's shoes basically owns, so that when you come back, you have tailored services created for you. That information stays with Bob, it's owned by Bob, it's exploited by Bob. Third-party data is where Bob wants to see you when you're on another website. So an ad network puts a cookie on you there, Bob can see it, and Bob's targeting you elsewhere, right? The cookie on your browser isn't owned by Bob, it's not owned by the website, it's owned by a third party. And that is being deprecated, it's being basically removed. And the second challenge when it comes to this is ATT. So this has been discussed a little bit before today. It's the deprecation of the IDFA, the way that you target users on mobile. So these are the two areas where there's a particular challenge. So, cookie deprecation. Now, most browsers don't allow third-party cookies already, but Chrome, which is the biggest browser, about 60% of all users use Chrome on mobile and on desktop, is going to deprecate the cookie by the end of the year. So there's a real concern about how this is going to work. And when it comes to mobile, it's going to have quite a significant impact. I turned off third-party cookies on my browser and went onto a website I look at quite a lot. I'm a bit of a car geek. I was on Auto Express, and this is what happened when I turned off third-party cookies, right? So first thing we're going to see, I land on the website. I'm interested in quite a mundane car, but I'm there. And the first ad I'm getting is for eBay Motors, right? Is this going to play if I click? No. Okay, I'll spoil. I'll tell you what happens. As you scroll through, you get 7 different ads, all for eBay Motors. Now, this isn't critical of the team that are buying the advertising. This is a result of the fact that without third-party cookies, the only way I'm being targeted is they're going, right, well, he likes cars. Here's a car ad. Let's show him a bunch of that. And the one I'm getting served all the time because of a lack of frequency capping, because of the data, is the same ad. Now, the user experience there is pretty poor. There's a big opportunity to show me a diverse range of ads that I might be interested in, but all I'm getting is the contextually relevant ad based on the environment. And the website itself, right, you've got to think about the fact if they're being paid to show you advertising, if they're showing you a targeted ad, the revenues they're generating off that will be much more significant than a non-targeted ad. Now, those websites aren't going to go, well, I guess I'll just make less money. They're going to have to make the same money, which means showing you more ads. So there's a real risk that for the consumer, the ad experience, the web experience is actually going to become a little bit poorer. So, what's the option? Well, one of them is data clean rooms, as the guys talked about before. That is a fascinating area, and I think it's going to be really, really exciting. However, it's not going to be cheap, and it's pretty nascent in its technology. It's pretty early days, and I think it's going to be quite difficult to get in there. So, what's the alternative? The alternative on mobile is in-app advertising. So, in-app advertising is exactly what it sounds like. You're in an ad, you're in an app, you're doing your thing, and there'll be an ad that will appear somewhere on the screen. Now, the key thing to point out about in-app advertising is that apps are built for purpose. Right? If you're designing an app, and most people don't build an app going, oh, I'm going to bring something great to the world. I really want people to indulge in my favorite thing, which is guessing the movie title based on the poster and the letters. Now, side note, I'm stuck on this. If anybody can help me solve it, I've been stuck on this for a week. It's a movie, I don't know what it is. Here are the letters. If you know it, come find me afterwards. But nobody builds an app like this because they don't want to share their love of guessing movie titles, right? They build it because they want to make money from showing ads. Now, if you show too many ads to people or shitty ads, you're going to alienate your audience. They're never going to come back, and that's it. You're not going to make any money. So the app experience is built to show ads, which means the ads themselves come at the right time, they're the right format, there's the right cadence between them. It's a much better user experience. And it is a language that we're familiar with. I mentioned at the beginning, right? There's a trade-off. If you're using a product or service and it's free, it's because you are the product. Nowhere is this more apparent than in the app ecosystem. People get it. They're using an app, it's great, it's free. It's because the advertiser over here is the one who's funding the experience for them. The data that is used as well to target and to optimize on these ads is really important as well, because it doesn't rely on third-party data. This does not rely on cookies because there's no browser. It's effectively 2 sets of first-party data. Set A belongs to the app developer, right? They own this space, and to a significant degree, they can dictate what information is passed back. And set B is when a user clicks on the ad and goes to eBay's website, for example. Again, that's a first-party space where eBay own that data. And the data from what they do here and they do there can be stitched together to train a model to go after users who look like that. So it's a combination of first-party data. Now, some of you may be going, oh, Dave, but what about ATT and app targeting and tracking? And yeah, it's a really good point. When this happened in the industry, we all pretty much made this face. Everyone shit themselves. However, it's the concept of it as a whole is the right way to go. Right? We need to move in this direction. Right? We need to give consumers back access to their data and the toggle to turn that privacy off. And B, actually, the system that's been set up by Apple does allow for fairly good targeting and optimization. We've certainly seen no significant drop-off in performance. And later in the year, as your man from AppsFlyer said before, 4.0, Scan 4.0 is being introduced, which is adding a whole bunch more data that you can see, and it's benefiting bigger campaigns, right? I'm not gonna go into the boring detail. I would love to, but I'm not gonna do it now. Find me for a beer, I'll chew your ear off about ATT all afternoon. The long and the short of it though, it isn't as big a deal as we first thought. It is gonna become less of a problem as we move forward, and more importantly, it really only impacts app to app. It has no real significant impact on app to web traffic. So, the other thing I wanted to point out as well, now I'm very well aware this is MadFest and everyone's all trendy and it's in Shoreditch. Showing a bar graph is basically heresy. This is like, I could have come up here wearing a suit and tie with a cane. Everyone hates this. So I'm gonna whip through this fairly quick and I have a celebrity guest to talk about my next stat. But people are spending more time in apps than anywhere else. So this is the other thing, right? Yes, the targeting is better. Yes, you're avoiding any complications with third-party cookies and data, but ultimately, it is where your consumers are. They're not on telly. They're not doing X, Y, Z. They are in their apps. So it's where your consumers are. And as a Brucey branding bonus, the brand uplift data that you're getting from appearing in-app is significant as well, right? So think about this as a lovely cherry on the cake. You're avoiding any of the data stuff, you're using the data that's there, but you're allowing users the access to their own privacy. It's where people are, and you're getting a lot of this lovely branding data on top. So, to summarize, change is coming, but it is not bad. It is okay. We need to embrace the change. Allowing consumers access to their data and privacy is a positive step forward. Alternatives exist. In-app is one, it's great. There are several others, come find me. Very happy to point you in the direction of other brands and vendors. I see some guys in from MSC Saatchi. There are some really, really good people out there in the mobile space. Everyone is great. Come chat to us, we'll point you in the right direction. And thirdly, and if I have anything to take away from today, most importantly, is do not let strangers look through the pictures on your phone, because I saw some of your faces and I don't like what you saw. Some things you can't unsee. Cool. Any questions you've got about this, feel free to find me, or if we have time for questions now, we can do it now.
Straight on, but you've covered everything. It was fantastic.
Lovely stuff.
Thank you so much, David.
Thank you very much.
Backing up David's statement there, I've spent nearly 18 years in the industry working with this chap. Please find him, try and test his knowledge, try and find something he doesn't know about mobile. Excellent.